Last time on Local Perspectives.
So you can't take that stuff to heart. Usually they're in a different place. They're surrounded by negativity, or they're going through something, or something's going on in their personal life where they had to comment that on your page. So you can't. People know this, and they still let it eat them up sometimes. You can't. It's not real. They're not gonna. It's not gonna happen in real life. Something, I guess something else I want to mention about social media is there's this insane drive. I mean, you go on Instagram and you'll get 3 pop-ups within whatever an hour. Create a reel, blah blah blah. There's this crazy push for it right now. I think it won't. Social media won't be here forever, in my personal opinion. I think we're going through this crazy time of now all these companies are almost at war with competition, and they're pushing all these filters and sounds and different things that you can do on their platforms and all this, and people are really driven to get a ton of likes and engagement and comments, and there's this crazy itch for it right now that I don't think will be here forever. But I want to mention that if sometimes I'll get 1,000 likes, and my goal is always kind of 2,000-ish with my follower count and all that stuff, and I'm always thinking that way, and engagement purpose way with social media. But the fact that if you had 40 likes, I think around 26,000 followers, 40, if I got 40 likes on a post, that's so insane. Imagine if you created a piece of art or something, and 40 half friends and strangers ran up to you and started clapping and saying wow, this piece of art is amazing. You would be literally jaw dropped in awe, what is going on? This is amazing that so many people support me. So just to acknowledge the 5 people, the 10 people, the 100. If you're going for 30,000 and you get 1,000, 1,000 people are actually liking that. But if you were to put that in real life terms, always picture it that way, and just appreciate every single like and comment, and don't always or I don't know. It's a weird itch that's going on with social media right now. To just always feel like you're not enough, then you need more likes and you need more engagement. So I'm always trying to. I get that every day. I feel that way, and so I'm trying to remind myself and other people that it's amazing to get 3 likes. It's amazing to get 100. It's amazing to get 1,000, no matter where your goal is.
That is such a good, sound balanced way to look at it.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's A-okay. Take care, Kendall. That is a really sound, balanced mindset. Yeah, because it's if you're looking for something negative or looking for something, to say that you're not worthy, you're always going to find it. It's just knowing that you have intrinsic value no matter what, that no one can take away from you, and to just be appreciative and to see, there's good and bad, but don't ignore the bad and only focus on don't ignore the good rather and only focus on the bad,
Yeah.
I love that. 40 people.
Acknowledge. Yeah.
The
Acknowledge
idea
that, but don't hone in on it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. If 40 strangers came up to you, even if they were acquaintances, half friends, like you said, on the corner, and started clapping, you did an amazing job. That would be, who wouldn't love that?
Is beautiful, or something
Yeah.
It would be so crazy. You'd be starstruck.
Yeah. Speaking of outfits, tell me a little bit about how your Smiles Fits endeavor is going. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a bunch of it right here to my left. Sorry, if you hear my dog whine, she has separation anxiety. So,
oh, Magnolia.
Yeah, that's you're signing up for a half hour of whining if someone leaves the house. But anyways, I have a bunch of it right here. It's really neat. I started it I think 2 years ago, and I had it under a different name. But I have a huge passion for thrifting, and in high school and stuff I didn't. I was my outfits were, I think a lot of guys, and specifically guys, go through the not caring about their style, and then as soon as they hit a certain age or get in a relationship or certain job or whatever, they start going like, oh, like, this is cool, and I actually love to wear pants and all this stuff. But I hit that more so when I started dating Kendall, and then I like really got interested in fashion and I guess style more than fashion, if there's a difference there. But yeah, I have a really big passion for thrifting. And then on top of that, like, I think it's so cool that I get to like share these clothes with other people that are really interested in buying them or even just looking at them. It's amazing that like so many people are actually interested in the clothes that I pick and the clothes that I have. It's super cool to see. And then another thing is like personally, if I buy something that, the $30 sweatshirt I'm selling is I bought it for 15 type of thing. So when buying something like that, like they to make money or to even just sell it at cost, you're buying something that's worth less technically than it is. Like you can go out and buy that yourself, but when I do that with certain stuff, if I bought a coffee mug for $40 and I know it's worth $3 because it's just paint and clay, but someone put their like love into it or passion, I treat that coffee mug so differently than if I were to buy it at $5. So knowing that people are actually interested in the clothes that I pick, and paying for it at a certain price, knowing that I got it for a lower price, and I just think that like they're going to treat that piece of clothing a lot better. And it's really cool to see. I think it's getting close to like 1,000 followers now, and I've sold a decent amount of things on there. And it also gives me like insight on what sizes sell the most on my social media platforms, what style of clothing should I do next for Beat Path, what are people liking more. It's just, I'm always thinking in a marketing way, I think because of my dad. But I always like to get insight no matter what it is. If I'm selling lemonade or if I'm selling clothes.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really smart overlap, and there's a lot of like enjoyment and passion there. So your dad has a background in marketing then?
Yeah, he's graphic design mostly, but he's head of marketing. He's a marketing director. He has a lot of experience with anything from designing a logo to a brochure to advertisements to that whole realm. I think it all kind of gels together when you're in the world of advertising, which was my degree. I think marketing, anything from marketing to graphic design to copyright, all in 2022 gels together. We're all kind of competing on this, like, Instagram is all of that type of thing, or no matter what you're doing. So yeah, he's well-rounded in that aspect and introduced me, luckily for me, introduced me to like Adobe softwares, mainly Photoshop, and all this stuff. And I grew a passion subliminally. I always kind of didn't think I didn't have it, or at first I wanted to be a geographer, I forget, something in environmental science. I wanted to go like count tree rings, and that was like my passion. It still is a big passion of mine. But like, when I started doing that, I started realizing like when I go home, I'm making advertisements and I'm spending 8 hours a day creating images on Photoshop, and I actually like love to do that. So like subliminally, I never knew it, but I was really involved in the advertising world. Same with just entrepreneur tendencies. I didn't know what the word entrepreneur meant till like end of high school. Really, it just kind of then started booming. I think in this last like 5 to 10 years, we've seen a lot of like entrepreneur things in people's bio. It's just a big word right now. But I didn't even know what it meant, and I used to sell gum at school and make duct tape wallets and knit beanies and scarves with my friend and sell them in middle school. And even just like we had lemonade stands, and I had some of my best friends like standing in different corners of the neighborhood with signs while I sold it at the main thing. And then like I always was revolved around that world. And I remember like my biggest thing was I was really into downhill skateboarding. That I probably flipped. Like we used to like buy skateboard decks and sell them for more, flip them. Probably done that. It's like 50 to 100 skateboard decks at least. just through Facebook Marketplace and stuff. But yeah, it's a neat world.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's true. You never know where something's going to apply, but you're right. Everything has converged right now. And we're all a bunch of like marketers, advertisers trying to learn it. And you happen to have a really perfect background. Like everything kind of came together, I think, for this moment in your life, I would say. And it's serving you well. So that's awesome.
Very thankful for being introduced to that. He like, it was more of an introduction, and less of like a everyday with my dad type of thing. I kind of like, he brought me into the world and then I did it on my own terms. So it's funny to this day, if we're like creating, he helps me with something, he'll use a different shortcut than me, and I'll be like, what are you doing? Like, we do stuff differently, even though he introduced me to it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I love that. Shout out to Papa Dittmar.
Great.
So when I first met you, you had a mustache. Will the mustache ever come back?
I think it has to eventually.
At least to keep you warm in Colorado through the winter.
I know.
You know?
Yeah, there's that. For me, it's like around 3 weeks stage of the itchiness. Terrible. I'm not a fan of that, where it feels like sticky and itchy at the same time. And mine grew so bushy. If I do grow it back, it won't be as bushy. I just like, I planned on growing it exactly a year and shaving it with my buddies to make the film. Mustachio, if anyone wants to check it out. I was trying to pitch it to like a razor company to get it as like a real advertisement or get a budget for a real one. But I think it has to grow back. I get probably like 20 messages throughout all social media a day on average of like, bring the mustache back.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
The people
so many people liked it.
Yeah. It suits you. And I love, again, like, so this is a very funny anecdote. So like Dollar Shave Club, have you heard of that company?
Yeah.
Their whole success can be tied back to improv. The founder did a lot of improv, much like you did. I love improv. There's like a local improv scene that I'm very tied into. And I think it just translates into everyday life so well. I could go on and on about that, maybe on like a B-side episode. But yeah, if you listen to his episode of How I Built This, I don't remember the man's name off the top of my head, but that's all he talks about is the way his improv background helped him go viral and the company, was successful because of it. But yeah, so I would love to see like something happen with pistachio, something of like the Nacho Libre realm, maybe. I don't know. It just is like those vibes.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. And Dollar Shave Club was one of like the inspirational. They had amazing advertisements and stuff too. Their marketing was great. But I think the mustache eventually has to come back at some point. I loved it too. It's just, I don't know. I think I have a very different face with it. So I look right now. I just shaved. I look in the 18-ish age realm to 23-ish age realm, and then with the mustache, it was like anywhere from 25 to 35. It was like, and sometimes I like that, and sometimes I don't. But as being young right now, I rather embrace like my hair is just growing faster and faster, so I'm gonna keep it off for a little bit. And I missed my upper lip. I had this weird white line, like permanent white line after I shaved, for months. I think it's probably still kind of there. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is, because I would go and tan and try and get it back to its normal color. And I have a lot of friends that like play a lot of video games, and they'll get that green glow above their lip. It's like a screen tan type of thing. And this was like some weird pale white line. I don't know if it's because I had it was like blonde red type of mustache. It grew like weird colors. So maybe it like influenced my lip to be super pale white strip.
Your mustache is like, never forget me. I was
here. Yeah, it left a permanent mark on me. I think if I grow it back, it won't be as bushy. I'll have to trim it. And then I don't know. Did you see? I just posted a thing about getting a mullet.
Yes.
And I've been wanting one for way before this mullet craze the past few years. I just think it's so hard Did you know? I think it's only like 3% of people are blonde. I thought there was more blonde people. Um, but having a blonde mustache, I've always thought is so much harder to pull off. Like if you look up famous mustaches, they're usually not blonde.
Hmm.
It's just a different look, and mine's not like full blonde right now. It actually doesn't look blonde at all. But I just always thought it'd be hard to pull off. But if I bring the mustache back, I think it'll be during the mullet phase. I think that'll be a look for sure.
Yeah. We will stay tuned with bated breath on that.
Yes. Yeah.
I have two more questions for you.
Okay.
You mentioned that you did improv when you were younger. Was that here in Florida, like on the West Coast, or?
It was on the West Coast. I think it was with like, if I remember right, it was a skimboarding club in the summer. It was like a outdoorsy club that you join, and then sometimes they go skimboarding, sometimes they play baseball outside. And then towards the end, we performed, I think, for all of our parents. We performed improv. And I don't remember doing it that much, but I guess, like, my parents, I was very shy-ish growing up. I, like, stayed within, like, my two friends and didn't, like, express myself as much as I do now and feel comfortable talking to strangers. And, like, if I got a phone call, I just didn't pick it up back then when I was younger. But anyways, I guess I did improv towards the end, and my parents just said I was like so natural at it, definitely like in my element. And then with family and friends, I'm definitely more of that person. I'm goofy dude, and I feel very, very at home when I'm doing it. I'm just still learning to break out of that shell and just be like, I want to just get into that realm faster with new friends. And I have a potential movie script coming up, or not movie, short film scripts that someone here in Fort Collins reached out to me. So I think that'll help break me into it. And I've been taking like little acting tips on YouTube, watching little acting tips and stuff. So I'm trying to get more into that realm. It's been hard, but I'm definitely very comfortable when I'm doing it. Like that's where I belong. I feel like I just haven't been able to. Same with music. Like music, in the end of my life, I want to direct a film, act in a film, kind of Quentin Tarantino style. He always kind of acts a part in his films, and then play music. I want to either have a band or just release some stuff myself. I've been wanting to do that for 10 to 15 years. It's unfortunate that I don't have a nice voice sometimes, or like it's just annoying. Like I try to train it, but voice is hard. Singing is very hard, but and I want to sing, so I guess that's my crutch. I'm like not okay with not singing in the band.
I'm sure you'll get there. I have
Yeah.
every confidence in you, all of it.
Yeah, that's one reason I love I love Mac DeMarco, because he would like always, when he would perform, be like, I'm proving that you don't need a good voice, and like go and sing, and because he like kind of taught himself, he wasn't born with it. So people like him inspire me. I'm like, hey, I can do this, or just really cool instrumental music would be cool too, regardless of what it is.
Yeah, from what I understand, Chris Martin, lead singer of Coldplay, he didn't take singing lessons until after the first album, Parachutes, came out, Coldplay's album. So that whole album is just Chris Martin, raw.
Very cool.
Yeah. So Miles, to close out, and this has been so much fun, it was everything I hoped it would be. What is your message to the world?
Wow, lots of pressure. I think towards the beginning I mentioned it, where like it's okay to go through those like negative moments in life, knowing that like to have positivity in your life and to feel like things are going right and all this stuff, you have to go through negative stuff first, or bad stuff in life, and speed bumps happen. So don't get down on yourself when those things happen. Don't beat yourself up. Know that like without that, there would be no drive and purpose in life. You need those bad times to have the good times. I guess that's what I would want to tell myself or hear to myself from someone else. So yeah, just knowing that you need speed bumps you need hurdles to jump in life. That's the whole point. You need these things to happen to get to the next chapter.
Yeah. And like, you need hurdles to jump could literally be a chapter in your collection of DMs. I'm just saying.
I agree. That'd be great.
Miles, thanks again for letting me borrow you this morning. This was a real treat, and I can't wait to share it and, put it out there when the time comes. You have been...
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure having you as a friend, and I look forward to your next visit to St. Augustine very much.
Yeah, I think around April, May, we might be coming up there right when it's getting a little warmer.
Yeah, come thaw out.
Yeah, we'll come visit you.
Nice.
It's always great talking to you, Teddy.
Likewise. We'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, have a great day.
Action.
Cool.
That does it for episode 9 of Local Perspectives. Having Miles on energized, inspired, and encouraged me. I hope you benefited from the valuable experiences he shared too. As Miles would say, remember to smile hard, even when no one is watching. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time.